Hello, it's Moira here, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to fix a drop treble when it's in the wrong place. I use this fix for when I'm working in rounds. Your heart sinks when you're working in rounds and you come to a drop treble that's in the wrong position from the previous round. This has happened to me quite a lot, so I've devised a fix so that I don't have to pull back the round that I'm working on and then pull back the previous round to where the error was. This fix is a 6-step process and I'm going to demonstrate each step as we go along. So I've identified the drop treble that needs to be removed, which is that drop treble there. It needs to be moved up one. So I'm now going to frog back the round that I'm working on. I'm actually going to go about 4 stitches, just back to that first drop treble in the cream. I'm just going to make the loop larger in my round that I'm working on so I don't inadvertently pull out any stitches. It's now time for step 2, which is carefully cut the drop treble that is in the wrong place. This is the part that you've got to be very careful with. You have to identify the part of the drop treble that you're going to cut. The bit of the drop treble that you're going to cut is the part that has come out of the front loop stitch. You can see there, I've actually pulled that part that's come out of the front loop stitch, there's the front loop stitch, and I've pulled the part that I want to cut up so you can see where it is that I'm going to snip my yarn. Pull this part of the drop treble up quite far so you can actually see which part you need to snip. I'm now ready to snip this section because I'm very happy that it's the correct part. I'm now starting to unpick the drop treble. Just be gentle. Your yarn, depending on the yarn, it might be a little bit more difficult than mine was to unpick, but you can see the drop treble has now gone. One solution at this stage would be to pop those ends to the back and knot them and then just sew in a new stitch. However, the method I'm about to demonstrate is a slightly more elegant solution. We're now working on step 3 where we unpick the cut drop treble. We've already unpicked a little bit of the cut drop treble, we've done the bottom part of it, so we now need to unpick the top part of the drop treble. Just be gentle at this stage, take your time and just work the yarn through all the various parts of the stitch. And you can see that once you've actually finished unpicking it, you have on the left hand side, the next stitch to the cut drop treble, something that resembles a chain stitch, and we're going to create an invisible join into the second stitch along there. I'm going to now unpick the stitch. Sometimes there's a few knots, as you can see here, and now once we've actually worked those knots through, I can now frog back 2 or 3 stitches. I'm ready now to work on step 4, which is joining my new yarn and working the stitches that I've just frogged and inserting the new drop treble into the correct place. I'm just joining the yarn by pulling it through and then working my double crochet as I normally would. And the next stitch in my pattern is the drop treble that was in the wrong place. This is the correct position for it. So I'm going to work that drop treble and then I've got one more double crochet back loop to work, and now I'm ready to cut my yarn off, and you can see that's my drop treble now in the correct position. So I'm going to fasten my yarn off and then make an invisible join. I'm going to end my fix with an invisible join to the second stitch after the original cut drop treble. The first stitch after the cut drop treble has now effectively become a chain stitch, so we're going to work an invisible join over the top of that stitch. To work an invisible join, you need to thread up a tapestry needle, and we're going to insert our needle under the V of that very first stitch, and then insert our needle into the centre of the last stitch. And the last step is to weave in our ends. If there's a downside to this fix, it is the 4 ends that you've got to weave in at the end. Now I've woven in all my ends and they've gone, I'm now ready to complete the round that I was originally working on when I found the error. Let's have a quick recap of how we fix a drop treble when it's in the wrong place. Step 1, we frog 4 to 6 stitches in the current round that we're working on. Step 2, we very carefully cut the drop treble that is in the wrong place. Step 3, we unpick the drop treble and we frog back 2 to 4 stitches. Step 4, we join our new yarn and work our stitches that we've just frogged, including the drop treble. Step 5, end with an invisible join to the second stitch after the original cut drop treble. Step 6, weave in all the ends. And there we go, a neat, elegant solution to what was a problem. If you have found this fix useful, please do subscribe to Daisyknots YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.